Hello students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Modern World History series by looking at European conquests in the Americas. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. Okie dokie, let's go. In 1492, Christopher Columbus reached the Caribbean islands now called the West Indies. Columbus's first meeting with Native Americans there began a recurring cycle of encounter, conquest, and death across the Western Hemisphere. Columbus first encountered the Taino people and claimed their land for Spain, taking prisoners back with him. A wave of Spanish conquistadors, or conquerors, followed. Ultimately, small armies of Spanish, using superior weapons and horses, were able to overpower millions of native people. Unknowingly, the Spanish also brought diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza. This wiped out village after village of Native Americans who had no immunity or resistance to these diseases. One of the earliest explorers, Hernán Cortés, reached Mexico in 1519 and moved toward the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. Cortés was aided by an Indian woman, Malinche, who helped him form alliances with native peoples previously conquered by the Aztecs. Aztec ruler Moctezuma tried but failed to keep Cortés from coming to Tenochtitlan. Cortés later imprisoned Moctezuma and compelled him to sign over lands and treasure to the Spanish. Cortés was driven out, but he returned in 1521 and destroyed Tenochtitlan. Another Spanish adventurer, Francisco Pizarro, sought riches from Peru's Incan Empire. Pizarro reached Peru in 1532. The Incan ruler, Atahualpa, had just won a civil war or conflict between people of the same nation. Pizarro captured Atahualpa and demanded a huge ransom. This was paid, but Pizarro had the Incan ruler killed anyway. Spanish forces overran Incan lands, adding much of South America to the Spanish Empire. Soon, other European countries sent explorers and conquerors to the Americas. Portugal established a large colony in Brazil. Portugal granted land to nobles who sent settlers to develop the area. As in Spanish colonies, Native Americans in Brazil were nearly wiped out from disease. Brazil's rulers also used African slaves and forced Native American labor. A new culture emerged, blending European, Native American, and African traditions. In the 1500s, wealth from the Americas made Spain and Portugal Europe's most wealthy and powerful countries. Pirates often attacked treasure ships from the colonies. Some pirates, called privateers, even did so with the support of their nation's monarchs. Spain long remained the dominant European power in the Americas. Spanish settlers and missionaries followed the explorers and conquerors. They built colonies and created a culture that blended European, Native American, and African traditions. By the mid-1500s, Spain's empire reached from modern California to South America. The Spanish monarch appointed viceroys, or representatives who ruled in his name. They closely monitored Spanish colonies and managed their valuable raw materials. Conquistadors received encomiendas, or rights to demand work from Native Americans. Under this system, Native Americans were forced to work under brutal conditions. Disease, starvation, and cruel treatment caused drastic declines in the Native American population. A priest, Bartolomé de las Casas, begged the Spanish king to end the abuse, and laws were passed in 1542, banning enslavement and mistreatment. But Spain was too far away to enforce the laws. Some landlords forced people to become peons, paid workers who labored to repay impossibly high debts created by their landlord. To fill a labor shortage, colonists also brought in millions of Africans as slaves. Blending of diverse cultures resulted. Native Americans contributed building styles, foods, and arts. The Spanish brought Christianity and the use of animals, especially horses. Africans contributed farming methods, crops, and arts. However, society in the colonies was strictly structured. Peninsulares, or people with Spanish blood born in Spain, filled the highest positions. Next were Creoles, or American-born descendants of Spanish settlers. Lower groups included mestizos, people of Native American and European descent, and mulattoes, people of African and European descent. At the bottom were Native Americans and African slaves. Alright, let's do a quick recap. Columbus being not great to the Taino people when he rediscovered the Americas is an understatement. I wish that it ended there, but it didn't. Hernan Cortés and his conquistadors and the viruses that they carried destroyed the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan and conquered them. Pizarro and his men and the viruses that they carried conquered the Inca. Portugal then sent dudes to conquer Brazil. These new lands made both countries very rich. The conquistadors were not good at governing the new lands, so the Spanish king sent viceroys to do it for them. And Spanish colonial society was structured weirdly based on blood and birthplace. There you have it, folks. That is European conquests in the Americas, nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Conquer those like and subscribe buttons for me before you go, and tell me all the words I mispronounced in the comments down below.